So a lot of excitement, and this is something that rock fans have been looking forward to and asking about for a long, long time. A lot of excitement when the M3 lineup was announced, and a couple big surprises on that lineup. One being David Lee Roth, which is he's not been active for a long time, so that is of interest to a lot of people, wondering what he's going to do. But the other big one that really had a lot of people pleasantly surprised was the reunion of Stephen Pearcy and Warren DeMartini playing a show of RATT songs at M3, closing it out on Sunday, May 4th, and headlining that day. And joining me now in an exclusive interview with the two of them together, we welcome Warren DeMartini. Warren, how are you, buddy?
Great, Eddie. Thanks for having us on, man.
I know I've been on you forever to come on for an interview, so I'm glad we finally got you.
Yeah, man, we finally got it together.
And also joining me, RATT singer, who's been a regular on this show and been out there playing RATT tunes for a long time, Stephen Pearcy. How are you, brother?
I am good, Brother Ed. And Warren, what's up, my friend?
How are you, man?
Yeah, yep, we're ready.
Yeah. So, Stephen, well, let me get this. Let me ask you this first of all. Do I have this right? Is this, since this reunion of you guys playing together, is this the first time that you're actually speaking about it?
Yeah,
actually, it is. This is the first time we've talked. I mean, up until this minute, we've just been talking through, our people and stuff. So, this is a nice way to kind of get back reacquainted.
Yeah, why not reconnect on a national radio show and talk for the first time? I mean,
right?
that's classic RATT.
I say it's better late than never. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So well, with that being said, before I get to my questions, since you're literally talking to each other right now for the first time in a long time, Stephen, anything you'd like to say to Warren?
Well, it's not even strange. It was kind of supposed to just happen because we've got so much unresolved stuff in music. I mean, last time we were really hanging, we were writing songs, and I mean, one still is in my head that we were writing at his house. So to me, it just seemed like, just like I was in a coma for a few years, and just woke up. Everything's the same, So it's all good.
Yeah, that was right after Infestation, I think. We were kind of hanging out here, and had this song.
Hey Warren, Hey Warren, let me jump in real quick. If you're off your phone a little bit or on speaker or on a headset, can you get right up on it because you sound a little drifty and we want to hear you.
Let me try this. Is this better?
Give him a break.
Yes.
Sorry, man. So Ed, as we were talking, and as Warren said, we were like working on music, and it's almost like not even skipping a beat, And this idea came up. Somebody approached us, I believe Warren first, and said, "Hey, would you guys like to instigate something at M3?" And it was almost like a given, like, sure. Let's go. That's what I said. I said, fuck yeah, let's go, Yeah,
I want to, do a quick shout out to the owner of M3 and our manager and agent guys and gals for making this happen because it just, wouldn't have happened any other way, I think. So big thanks to them.
So
Warren, I agree, yeah.
Warren, what have you, because people, I've been texting you and I said people would love to hear from you and people love your playing and miss your playing and miss seeing you. And I've talked to you about trying to, wanting you to come on for a little while now. What have you in this time that you've not been, I think maybe you did a fantasy camp. You've done very, very little things, maybe Kings of Chaos, but you really haven't been out there. What have you been doing in this downtime that you've been away from being on the stage?
You know what I always did, and what I always do. You know, when I'm not sort of dealing with all the stuff that we deal with in life, I drift back into the studio and you know, either start working on something that I hear in my head, or refining something that I have going. So it's been a really nice thing to be able to do all this time. You know, because basically since, you know, Stephen and Robin and I wrote Round and Round. It's just been, you know, it's like, okay, you can be a writer if you want to be, and so that's what I do basically.
Did you miss being on stage, Warren? Do you miss playing? Do you miss being in front of an audience?
Oh, of course. I mean, you know, it's hard to find words to describe the kind of energy that we have with our audience. Yeah. It's just, you know, it's just fantastic. I did keep it, you know, I did as much as I would have liked to, but, you know, like you said, I did do some gigs with some friends, you know, the last one was with Billy Gibbons and Sebastian Bach, and, you know, each group, you know, we would all play each other's songs, you know. And it was great, 2 or 3 songs each, and it was you know, stuff like that. You know, kind of kept it burning, but this is the real fire.
Stephen, you've been on with me many times, and you've been out there playing RATT songs for the last few years now, doing a great job, great band, and all that. But you and Warren, I don't know how aware of this you are, but Stephen, you've been very transparent and open in all the interviews we've done of kind of saying, I would love to work with Warren. I want Warren. You know, I got to reconnect with Warren. I would love to do something with Warren again. So how does this feel for you? That you know, right now you're actually talking to him, and that this is finally going to happen. Yeah. I mean, this is something you've openly wanted.
Well, put it this way, I'm fucking ecstatic. But number 2, now I know I got my work cut out for me, because if this boy's been just sitting around writing riffs, we're going to be able to, you know, write some songs sooner than later. And that's what we like doing, you know, it's what we do. It's kind of, this is very surreal in a way. It's almost like, wow, you know, didn't miss a beat, you know what I mean? Except we're smarter, wiser, and hopefully a little more talented in the writing, you know, writing department. So I'm looking forward to it, you know.
Warren, were you aware? Were you aware that Stephen was? You know, did you pick up on that at all? Did you hear through the wire that Stephen was kind of through the radio waves shouting out to you a little bit?
You know, I tend to kind of just, you know, just focus on my own thing, and you know, so it maybe a little bit now and again, but. You know, I just, you know, if I'm not busy, like I said, if I'm not busy just with the regular stuff we all deal with, I kind of get back into an idea, because that's where I love to be. So, you know, a little bit, but, you know, I was always hopeful that, you know, we would able to get here.
And me, Ed, I think I look at it like this way. Warren's always been a guy to let a song or an idea ferment. So it wasn't a matter of when. It was, I mean, if it was going to happen, it was just a matter of when. Actually, you know, is how I'm seeing it. You know,
Warren, were you aware of the fans missing you and wanting you to play? And you know, there's a great fan contingency out there. I mean, I would get calls all the time like, hey, where's Warren? What's he doing? Is he ever going to play again? Did you get a sense of that? I mean, I'm sure as a player you appreciate that the people certainly didn't forget about you.
Oh, you know, when I'm out once in a while, in a situation where you know, that can happen. Sure. You know, I'm not a big social media guy. I don't, you know, I do have like a Facebook that I'll post, for instance, this M3 ad man. Or, you know, if I'm doing a gig with friends or whatever, but it's pretty much limited to that. And, I don't spend any time on the social media. I should, and I'm gonna try to do that more often. But
good luck.
I do get a lot of I do get a lot of positive feedback and enthusiasm from fans. When I'm out and about. In that situation, sure. It's awesome.
Hey, Ed, check it out. What's going to be real fun to do is for Warren and I to put a set list together. It's like I kind of put one together and I went, I think we're missing some songs here. So that's going to be a good thing. So if anybody out there, the fans, have any suggestions for songs, bring it on.
Well, Stephen, you with your own band, you were celebrating the anniversary of Out of the Cellar, playing it in its entirety.
Yeah.
Warren, you jumping back in on this and doing this with Stephen, and I want to get from you what the band is going to be here in a second. But to Stephen's point, Warren, what kind of stuff? I mean, obviously you got to play the hits, and RATT had a lot of hits. But what kind of stuff are you looking to digging into, Warren? Is there some deeper tracks or some things you haven't played in a while that you'd really like to try to reintroduce?
I think so, man. I think we need to just, really look at the whole catalog. I mean, we did, we did 6 records with Atlantic, and we've done 3, through other labels. There's probably a lot of deep cuts that would be just totally awesome for this event. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I can think of a few right now, Between the Eyes, Hard Time, Eat Me Alive, Jesus, goes on. That's
I know. Like, Giving Yourself Away would be cool.
That would be cool, actually. Look at us, Ed. We're talking the set list right here on live.
Well, it's funny. Giving Yourself Away is a song that, Stephen and I have talked about a number of times. It's like the hit that should have been a hit that wasn't a hit, especially with the people that worked on it. And I don't know if you guys know this. I personally loaded that song because it wasn't in our database on SiriusXM, and I personally ripped it off my CD and loaded it in. And ever since, Hair Nation has been playing it like every day. So we might be making that a hit 30 years after the fact.
We played that.
It's just one of my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, we played that in Japan the last time we were out there, and there's a video. They actually made a video for it. Japan label.
Absolutely.
I'll throw in your direction out there, guys.
Kind of a DIY,
Guys, I'll throw in your direction out there. I love that riff.
Oh, in your direction?
Yeah. Yeah, we got to do that one.
That'd be killer. That'll be. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Not only as a fan, but I'm excited for the two of you because I'm hearing the two of you speaking right now together. First of all, I'm honored that you chose this show with me to do this, and you're speaking for the first time. But I can genuinely hear in both of your voices genuine excitement for this, which is really, really cool because we've all been doing this a long time, but to get that juice and that excitement is really special. And Stephen, I really can feel it from you because I know how bad you wanted this for how long.
Oh yeah. And like I say, it's Warren's not a guy you kind of shove out there. It'll happen when it happens, and here we are. I mean, look, the Invasion celebration, I'm calling it. It's 40 years of Invasion. I'm sure we'll be playing a few of those songs, and it's a natural. I'm going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time. We've already got a lot of stuff in mind.
When do you plan to rehearse for the first time?
I got the call.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Warren. Go ahead.
Sorry. Oh, well, I was just going to say, when I got the call for with this idea, we need someone to close Sunday. Would you be open to doing a DeMartini Pearcy or Pearcy DeMartini, closing the show under that kind of idea? And Stephen won the coin toss on that one, but I just was like, this is it.
Oh yeah, it's going to be. I'll guarantee you an ass whipping.
This is the door.
Yeah.
So I've kind of been waiting for the right door to open, and this was it.
Mm-hmm. Well, to the point about the name, calling it Pearcy DeMartini, regardless of which name comes first, it's obviously not called RATT. There are a lot of bands out there that are not operating with the original singer and lead guitar player that are using the name. Is that a legality thing without getting into the weeds as to why this isn't RATT?
Well, I'll tell you right straight up, it's not about RATT. It's about the legacy of our music, and who better to deliver it, because we don't have all the proper original elements, which would include Robin. So, we just decided, no, this is great. This is perfect. I mean, we don't want to hit a brick wall. We want this nice and smooth, So that's what we intend to do. It's not about that. It's about the legacy of RATT, period.
Will there be, will Juan or Blotz be involved in this at any point in any way?
No, not on this. No, like I say, we wanted it to be about the music and Warren and myself delivering it, because it is going to be a little different. If you were to throw the other guys in the mix, it wouldn't be exactly what it is now, the opportunity. So saying that, no, we've Warren can tell you what's going down with who's playing with us,
Yeah, who's the band, Warren?
Well, Carlos is available and wants to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So Carlos Cavazo is returning on second guitar with you.
Correct.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Correct. Yeah, we're going to have Carlos out there, which is cool, and I'm bringing in Matt Thorne on bass, who's pretty much an original RATT guy from 1981, 82, when Jakey and Warren pulled in, and then we're taking Elias on drums from Slaughter and my band. And we're ready to go.
When I moved up to L.A. to join RATT, I stayed at a house at with Jakey Lee for a few months, and Matt it was like a 3-bedroom, and Jake had one, and Matt had the other, and this other musician had the third, and I was on the couch. So Matt goes way back with actually kind of looking forward to checking that out again. He was playing bass this time I joined.
Mm-hmm.
So this is.
We'll guarantee it'll be an evening to have for all.
Yeah, no, that's those are all killer players, and Bloss is great. I mean, I always joke with Bloss because he lives here in Vegas. I see him from time to time. The guy never aged. He looks like the same guy from the Slaughter videos back 35 years ago. It's crazy, and he still plays great as well. So that'll be killer. When do you guys plan to come together for the first time? What is the timetable? Steven, you want to take that one?
Well, I'm going to probably say probably sooner than rehearsals for M3, because, I have ideas. Like I told Matt early, I go, I think Warren wants to write some songs, so I would like to, us all to be prepared to maybe write a song. So it'll probably be, who knows, it could be a week, could be, a couple weeks. It's going to be sooner than later, yeah. Then we'll go into rehearsals for M3, and we do intend on adding some more dates. So we'll take it from there.
Warren, anything you want to add?
No, that sounds about right.
You're just learning about it as we go, I know. So you're all being educated as we go, I think, on the radio.
It's all good. We have some great people behind this, so it's almost like it's going to be very smooth, and that's all we're hoping for. And obviously new music is what I'm thinking always. If Warren's writing, I'm in there. But, M3 is definitely the perfect place to kick it off, I'll guarantee you.
So there are going to be more shows. This is not just a one-off. You guys are not just coming together to do M3. You want to continue this and build on it. It sounds like, correct?
I think you might have some more. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead,
Warren.
Sorry. No,
Warren.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Go ahead, Warren.
Since since we announced the M3 show, there's been other stuff has come up. So
we're entertaining.
Yeah.
So you're open to, Warren, you're open to continuing this as, assuming it all goes well. You're not viewing this as a one-off. You just coming back to do M3 and then kind of going, off the grid a little bit again. This is kind of like you wanting to step back out there again and seeing where it goes.
Well, when this came up, I was treating it as a one-off, but everything has a momentum, or it can have a momentum. And in this case, it's just, it just feels better and better.
Yeah.
So,
just let it happen, Ed.
I do, what I've always wanted to play these songs to the people, like we always have. And, so I'm totally game to doing more.
There you go, Ed.
Go ahead, Stephen. What were you going to say?
I said, there you go. So, prepare for a good evening. It's going to be a great time at M3. Everybody come out, and we do thank those guys for, helping us along with this project.
One of the things that I think is really interesting about this and talking to you guys right now that I'm picking up on from both of you is that it's, so much of the business now as we know it is about live, and it's all about going out and playing the hits and playing live, which you're clearly going to do, and it sounds like you're going to do it beyond M3. But the other big thing that I'm definitely catching from both of you is that there's a real desire here to create new music and to write new music. And that's interesting because a lot of bands of your era, it's about playing the hits and then nostalgia and the catalog and going out and playing live. So, where is that coming into play? Is it just because you guys have both been writing individually and you really have stuff you want to get out? We know it's been a long time since there's been a new RATT record. So for you, Warren, is that just, we'll start with you, Warren. Is that just part of your creative process that you've been sitting on stuff and you've been shaping stuff and you're really looking forward to making it work?
My method is just to get ideas down and refine them as best I can, and then they sort of have this weird way of finding their way, out to the public. I don't think too much about it other than just, is this good or not? So I work on something, put it away for a while, listen to it again, almost forgetting about it completely. And then, and then I can sort of judge it with fresh ears. And it's like, this is strong, or this isn't, needs more work, or it needs to just be, abandoned, whatever. And that's kind of the thing. So it's like, for instance, the song that Stephen was talking about earlier, we were just hanging out at my house one day, and I had I had recorded a demo of this song, and Stephen just, we spent a couple of hours, and it just turned into something that every time I hear it, it's just, you just get this positive feeling like this is a good song, and that's something I think that's kind of kept this thing going, as long as it has, going back to Out of the Cellar. We have our differences, we fight, we make up, but it's the music that and the what it means to the fans that kind of just keeps it going the way it is. So excited to be on this side of it again.
What song is that, Warren? What song is that you're talking about specifically?
The working title is Sunset and Whiskey.
Oh, it's not out yet?
No. And I gave it another time. If it's the correct one, but Ed, I got to say, like Warren was saying, if he's going to sit on a song, but you know me, I mean, I'll record a cover song just to keep something out there, just to enjoy, just to have a kick out of it. So I'm always writing and recording, and I'm more than excited to hear what Warren's got going because, as usual, I'll probably force him in the studio, soon enough. So, I'd love to hear these riffs.
I wonder if we're talking about the same song. Hang on, let me play a little bit of it. Hold on.
Well, we're going to write a RATT song right here on the radio. I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's hear it. No.
Could you hear that?
There you go.
Yeah, we could hear it. Steven, you got lyrics? Let's go. It's a hit.
Yeah, I can hear it, but you can't get the gist of it there. But no, it was another song I'm thinking about because we actually did put one down and recorded at Matt's. Okay.
I remember that one too. Yeah,
remember that? That's a great fucking song.
What do you call that?
I just hit it up to somebody today.
You Took My Breath Away?
There you go. That's it. You Took My Breath Away. That's a great fucking song. We'll probably that one.
Well, I think it needs another, few hours, but it definitely has potential.
Look at that.
I love this.
There you go.
I love this. We're witnessing the creative process. You guys haven't even talked in a few years, and you're writing songs on the radio with me. This is incredible. If I throw a couple phrases out, can I get a writing credit when it comes out?
Hell no. Hey, can we
little
update
publishing
you on the progress of these ideas, Eddie? We'll just play you. Are we allowed to play a little snippet of stuff as it gets going?
Absolutely, man. Happy to do that. Absolutely.
Go.
I mean, I'm just excited that you guys are speaking and wanting to get ready to play. And I know I share in all the excitement with the fans. And I mean, it's so cool that you're gravitating towards new stuff too, because I think that's great. Yeah. I mean, I know you guys had mixed feelings about Infestation, some of you, but a lot of people really like that record. But, I know, Steven, you said that you felt there was unfinished business there as far as recording rap music, right?
Yeah, I'm told 100% because, like I say, if you don't get the right elements going, and sometimes, like Warren says, these songs take years and then they pop out of the woodwork. I mean, we've done it on some of our records. Those songs, some of those are years old. They just have to ferment. But we appreciate everybody who's excited about this, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a show. And M3, here we come, and we'll keep in touch and get ready to roll, man.
Hey, Warren, a couple other quick. Go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Please jump in.
Oh, I was just going to add, I noticed, doing this for a long time that, it's not that difficult to get good. It's another thing to get something that's great, and that takes time. Like, I notice that I rarely does something, hit that threshold first or second time. You have to work it as much as you can and almost forget about it for a while, and then listen to it cold, and then it stands out. Oh, this part needs to come up and da.
Warren, I asked Steven about this. I've asked Steven about this in past interviews. When you talk about what obviously is the biggest RATT song being Round and Round, and if I'm always curious about this, if you knew when I always like asking artists this, like if you knew, every artist has the definitive song. If you knew when you wrote and recorded it that it was going to be that special. And Steven's talked about this before with me, but I'm curious as your take on that, talking about this process of writing. What is your recollection of Round and Round? Did you have any feel when you recorded it for your part of that song that this thing was going to be your defining song?
Oh, man. There was definitely some energy I've never experienced in my life when we recorded it. For instance, the double lead section, was originally supposed to be I do the first solo and then Robin does the second solo. And, he wasn't liking what he was doing. And he just, after a while just said, why don't you just do the whole thing? And I was like, no, no way, man. Let's just do something together. And I came up with that whole double lead bit, and, back then, studio time was just super expensive, and you really were supposed to know what you were doing before you go in there. So I'm making this up real time, and we're working it out together, and then recorded it together, and it just was an incredible moment. I'm not sure.
Stephen,
if that was
No, I get it. Stephen, for your part in it, when you I think you told me in the past about Round and Round that you didn't really know it was going to turn into what it did, right?
No, but we knew we were doing something right because we'd record, Warren and Robin and I at Rat Mansion West. We would record with 2 cassette tape decks, bouncing them back and forth, like put down a guitar part, then you play it, and then it record a new part over it. It was really fun, actually, and basic. And I still kind of use those elements today. But when we were doing that, and the lyrics came pretty easy, I didn't think it would be huge like it is, but I knew it was kind of a fun song. And then when Bo got a hold of it, well, there you go. It became a whole nother thing, because it was all new to everybody.
I didn't think it was going to, change the future. I'm talking about when we wrote it that day at Rat Mansion West. Yeah. I didn't, it wasn't that it was, I didn't, have any premonition about what that song was going to do, but I did note that that something had happened, and we all just sort of put this together my memory is it didn't take very long, man.
No, it didn't. It was pretty quick.
I had this practice amp. We all lived together in a 1-bedroom, apartment in North Culver City.
Imagine, baby.
And I had this, I just had my practice rig and, a little practice amp, and I was practicing one day, and both Robin and Stephen came out and go, "What is that?" And we just, for the next couple hours, put together what it is today,
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, before that, I don't think we'd ever. That was pretty much the first, that or Morning After or One and Man, they were all written there around the same time. And I'm not sure which one was first, but it just was sort of the first time that something was really complete. And by that I mean we all remembered everything about the song. It was really.
We started playing it live, and it was.
And everyone remembered the arrangement and their parts and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you guys go in a minute here. A couple quick things. To this point, when you talk about the Rat legacy and the catalog, I've said this many, many times. I put it up there against any band from that era. I think the music holds up incredibly well. I think the songs, the albums, the consistency, the amount of hits, the big videos, all of that stuff. Have you seen, and are you aware, and Warren, I'll let you start on this one, the legacy of the band? Like, it's amazing to me. I've been doing this 41 years, and I connect with people at all these different ages that jump in, and they'll tell me, I'll meet a kid that's 20 years old and be like, yeah, I got into music because of this or what have you, my parents or whatever. You've got to feel, and I imagine that maybe drives you a little bit to get out there again now, that there is potentially a whole nother audience. You got the old guard like me who have been there since day one, but there's a really interesting thing happening where there's a whole other audience of younger people that have been exposed to this stuff, whether it's through a TV commercial or whether it's through their parents or whether it's through radio or video or YouTube. So do you realize that about your legacy? We'll start with you, Warren. Like you have an acknowledgement of that, and I would think that's got to be a pretty powerful thing for you to want to get out there and play.
Oh, it most definitely is, man. It's for me. It's all about those live moments, and they're all different and they're all awesome. And it's just that's when things happen. That for me, going to see shows. My brother took me to see The Who when I was like 7 years old, and it just absolutely blew me away. And I knew from that moment on what I wanted to do. It's hard to describe the connections that happen, during that live show. And I just feel so lucky to be able to do it, and that, people care about the music as much as we do.
Mm-hmm.
Warren, were you approached in the time that you weren't doing this? Were there opportunities brought to you to do other things, join other bands? Maybe did you ever even entertain maybe doing a solo record or something? Or maybe something you still might want to do?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I like I said, I keep writing, and the hardest part is deciding what to, how are these songs going to get out there? And my, first choice is doing it with this guy singing, man. I mean, I just fucking love his voice, and I don't know. It just that's my first choice, I mean, I worked on singing a lot, but I don't sing as good as this guy yet.
Or yell as good as this guy yet. Hey, Eddie, let me tell you something. You know what? Exactly what you said, and Warren, we totally appreciate. I'll tell you the legacy, and I'll tell you when we do these meet and greets, and Warren and I'm sure we'll get there eventually. But I meet these fans of ours who are so fucking sincere, it blows my mind. And yes, they bring grandkids and their kids, and it's I call them rugrats out there if I see anybody under a certain age. But it's like the demographic is much wider, and I got to tell you, the '80s were an important part of music history, and the fact that we're still part of it over 40 years later is a blessing, and it's appreciative. And the people who come and see us and who make this legacy, fuck yes, thank you. I mean, because I like going out there and having a good time. Like Warren goes out there for his reason. I go out there for the same, and to get something back, it's about fun. It's about having a good time. And never say never. And here you go.
All right, so just in wrapping up here, definitely sounds like new music is something you both want to do. No timetable for that, though, right? Like, if there's going to be new, like, you don't think maybe you could get do you hope to maybe even put out a single maybe sometime soon? Like, I know you got to still reconnect and all of that, but you just threw an idea around on the radio.
If you're asking
I wouldn't say it's out of the question.
I'd say why not?
Before a couple of weeks ago, I haven't talked to this guy in 7 years. So
until now, you haven't talked in 7 years.
I think the sky's the limit, and try not to f it up.
Yeah, right.
And
do something we don't do best.
And more shows to be announced. So people who can't make M3 or whatever, by the way, tickets for that are on sale Friday. But for people that can't make it in Maryland, it sounds like a good possibility that there's going to be additional stuff announced fairly soon.
Yes. Why not? Like Warren says, hey, it's like a new beginning. So, let's have at it, and see what happens. New music, shows. We're just into it. and that's the first step. Is we're into it, you know.
And the band lineup.
There's no shortage of ideas.
And the band lineup, Matt Thorne on bass, Blas Elias on drums, and Carlos on guitar. Warren, for you, I've talked to Carlos, and Carlos is always like, yeah, man, I don't want to do anything unless it's with Warren. I mean, he said that on the air to me, and he said that privately. Why do you guys, and he was the last guy in RATT as the other guitar player, what is it about the chemistry between you and Carlos that makes it work so well that you're bringing it back again?
I think, we grew up on the same stuff. We were friends, early on. I mean, Robin, and me and Carlos, if we, whatever, you'd be out at a show or something like that, we would always sort of end up in a corner somewhere, talking about guitar. And he's just, I don't know, he's in, Yeah. And guitar-wise, I think our styles just really, really complement each other, He's a good listener, and it's just I don't know. I get that there's a comfort there that
there you go.
He knows what to do, and what he knows what I don't know. We just have a similar standard, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of guitar players,
good enough, Ed.
Yeah, and speaking of guitar players, you both mentioned this guy, and he's a guy that I'm friends with as well that lives here in Vegas where I am, and that's Jakey Lee, who, of course, thank God he's still with us and, survived this horrific shooting that I still don't know what went on there. But I know, Warren, I remember when Jake was out there playing, you and him really reconnected and were hanging a lot. Have you been in touch with him?
I have, yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to see him soon. Unbelievable. So lucky and I'm just so thankful.
He's out and about. He's making the rounds around town again, so he's out there again, which is good to see. So I know you guys both have a lot of love for him, and I'm glad that he survived this thing, man, because that was a horrible, crazy thing. But he survived it.
Real. I mean, he was in L.A. 3 days before that, and we had lunch, and it was like had lunch with him. I haven't seen him in a long time. Had a great time. And then day after that, I'm getting called at 6 a.m, and it was surreal. But again, so lucky, and I'm just so happy, that he's okay. He's going to be okay.
Yeah, and probably going to start playing again soon, from what I hear. Because before he was shot, I talked to him about playing my party a year ago, which Steven played, and he couldn't do it because he was having a wrist issue. So now that he's recovering, hopefully the wrist is healed up a little bit, because we need that guy playing some guitar again. That would be good to hear.
Yeah. Yes.
Just in closing, guys, we'll go one by one. Warren, I'll start with you. I mean, just in closing this out, what do you want to say, and what do you want to say to the fans listening? Because there's so many people that missed you and missed you playing, and I'm one of them as well. But what message you want to send out there to everybody?
Well, we're gonna be starting rehearsal on this real soon, and gonna just give it our all, man. And thanks for all the support over the years. You're the reason that we're still doing this, and totally understand that, and God bless you.
Yeah,
Steven, anything you want to add or say? I know that you wanted to do this forever, man. I know this is something you've been angling for.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ed. Two words. Fuck yes. 2 more. Let's go.
Well, I think that sums it all up. Hey, guys, I can't thank you enough.
Bye-bye.
I can't thank you both enough for doing this, and I'm happy for you both, and looking forward to seeing where this all goes, and keep us posted. And Happy to be here to share any information as it goes that you want to get out to the audience.
You got it, brother.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right,
Good
Warren,
catching
Stephen,
up with
thank you, man.
man.
Yeah, you too,
You
Warren.
got it.
Good,
Warren,
good to
talk
chat.
to you soon, brother.
All right, you got it, Steven.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye-bye. There they go, everybody. How cool was that? Stephen Pearcy, Warren DeMartini, reunited and sounding very, very good. Sounding very happy and optimistic about what they're planning. And if you're a fan of that band, and I don't know many people who aren't, I mean, again, those are timeless, great songs. There is no doubt you should be excited because they certainly sound excited and amped up and ready to go. You know, for Stephen, like we've talked about and I referenced in the interview, and if you guys have been listening to this show for a while, you know that, I mean, Stephen has openly wanted that. He has talked about it on more than one occasion. You don't really usually see somebody, even if they want something like that to happen badly, you usually don't see anybody be that open about it. The only other example I can think of was when Steven Adler would openly campaign for a Guns N' Roses reunion. And then unfortunately that happened and he was kind of shut out of it. But Steven wanted that, you know, he was open about it and he tried and he pushed and he pushed. So you could hear in his voice, understandably, the excitement that he's got Warren back in the band. And Warren sounds happy and optimistic to do it as well. What you guys just heard, though, which again, you've got to understand, and they admitted this, that was their first conversation. I think Warren said in like 7 years. So they announced this show. And as Warren said, they've been talking through intermediaries, but they had not talked to each other until what you just heard. And why that's important is because that was kind of them breaking the ice together. And the good thing about it is it sounded very, very positive. There was a real energy there. And I would not say that if I didn't really pick up on that immediately. You know, I knew what it was going to be from Steven. Because again, he's been transparent about wanting this to happen. But nobody's heard from Warren in a long time. And he sounds like he's in a great place with it. Now, look, you know, the name thing, they're not going to be able to talk about this, but I guarantee you that's a legality thing. Because again, they said Blatz and Juan will not be a part of this. So, you know, you don't know, we talk about it all the time where the name ownership falls, who can do what without who owns a piece of what. So I'm sure there's something in that because obviously you know, there's a million 80s bands out there that have maybe one original member. It's not even a key member and they're using the name. It comes down to who can control the name and what the parameters of that are legally. So that's why it's being called Pearcy DeMartini, and they joked about flipping a coin as to whose name comes first. You know, where this leads, you know, and, you know, what happens with the other two guys that aren't a part of this and what they have to say, and if they, you know, surface with something or jump in on this or what have you, I don't know. It doesn't sound like that's where the focus is, though, for Warren and Steven going forward with this. Does it hold? Who knows? Look, we're being honest. Got to call it like it is. I mean, there's a enormous history of upheaval in RATT world and things not lasting and changing. So fingers crossed, it works. And the other thing you take from that is there's going to be more shows. We now know the lineup, the rest of the band, which was just exclusively announced. Again, Matt Thorne, who's been playing with Pearcy solo band, Blas Elias from Slaughter, who's been playing with Pearcy solo band, and also for years did Blue Man Group here in Vegas, lives here in Vegas. And Carlos Cavazzo back in the fold on second guitar, who was in the last version of RATT. So And then the final thing you take from it is there definitely is an interest in creating something new beyond just the nostalgia angle to this. So new shows, more shows coming, band lineup announced, desire to make new music, positive vibe. I think that's what we take away from all of this, and we will continue to follow it. Big thanks to Pearcy. Big thanks to Warren. Thanks earlier to Britt. Missed anything, go listen on the app. What a show. Hope you guys have a good rest of your Wednesday. Back live tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern. More news, more discussion. Dario Lorena from Black Label Society hanging as well. Have a good rest of your Wednesday, guys.